How's it going, guys? It's Eclipse here, and today we're going to be playing some games live for you on World of Tanks console, so you can hopefully learn a thing or two about what my decision making is in game. You know, I'm a player with 61% win rate overall. I've been playing this game for years, got the 6-year mark. I'm coming up to 7 years, I expect, fairly soon. And I've managed to pick up quite a few medals along the way. I've managed to have some really, really good games overall, and I think I'm a decent player enough to be able to show you exactly what sort of playstyle you could be using in some of your tanks. So we're going to start off with medium tanks. We're going to play a few games in the FV4202, and then we're going to look through to see the sort of places you should be going on whatever maps we get, and then hopefully have some good games. I'm going to talk you through them. So obviously you can see in the background we've got Steps as our first one. On this we're basically going to be wanting to earn the Chrysler K because that's out at the moment. I should be able to do that hopefully within the next 2 weeks, so long as I play a little bit. I've been playing a little bit less recently just because I've been doing some uni work and other commitments and stuff along the way, which has meant I've not been able to actually get as much game time in to get some gameplay for you, but I've been doing those, like, you know, news overviews and some top 10 or top 5 guides for you as to what tanks you should really be going towards. The FV4202 here is actually a really, really good tanking game. I've enjoyed it. I've managed to have some fantastic games, and in fact I have my best ever game in this tank, dealing, I think it was like nearly 15,000 combined damage, 9.6k damage with like 5k assist or something very, very similar to that. So yeah, certainly can have some really, really good games in a tank like this. You know, you've got actual armor, a little bit of it anyway, which you can use really, really effectively with this tank, and also the DPM on it is actually insane, which means that you can have some even better games. We're going to be moving now because although there isn't any artillery in the game, which I should have spotted earlier, which means we can go back to the position and just use the ridge lines now without having to worry about losing half my health to a miss from an artillery, of course, which absolutely no one likes in this game. As you can see, what I'm doing here is actually putting these bushes in between me and the opponents, as well as just ensuring I'm going for tracking damage as well. Now, something you should always be doing in your medium tanks is going for tracking damage as well, because not only will you track them in place for you to shoot them again using your DPM that medium tanks generally get, you'll also track them in place for your opponent, for your teammates, at which point the opponent's going to lose a lot more health than they would have done. You're going to be able to win the game more often if your team are going to be dealing more damage to someone, and therefore, you know, you're more likely to win the game. On Steps now, you can see that we've won this flank pretty much, so I'm going to push down over to the ridge line to my left. There's this big ridge line. Have to be careful towards some TDs that could be blind at the back, or at least not spotted. So we're going to make sure that we keep well hidden. Luckily no artillery, which are going to bombard us, and we're going to use this ridge line here to get some shots into this T-77. Going to finish off this atomic if he doesn't die already. And you can see, you know, we can now progress down this flank without having to worry too much. The T-77, we've got to be aware of him because obviously that's the autoloader, can deal 1,000 damage. You don't want to get hit by that very often. We take a snapshot at the IS-7, and we're going to go for another one here. Doesn't hit, unfortunately, and we're going to actually go over to the left, and we're going to use the ridge line up there. Now, what does this give our team? Well, it's going to give our team a little bit of a comfort, I guess. This T-77 is going to go for me, which is actually really annoying. We're going to keep swaying side to side, as you should do. In a tank like this, we get hit by the IS-7 and the T-77. But luckily, this IS-7 is now going to be in a position where he's not going to be favourable, really. You can see that what we're going to do is try and bait his shot. He hasn't fired, but unfortunately the chisel gets in my way right as I fire, and I don't know if he's doing this on purpose, but okay, thank you. Get a bit of lag there, unfortunately. Death Star now, don't want to get hit by that. So what we're going to do is he's fired, luckily. Unfortunately hit our tank right there. So we're going to use this position here. And in fact, we're going to push down now. So our team have pretty much won this game so long as we don't be absolute bots. We've got a FV 4005 over here, which as soon as I fire this one round that I have, I'll load a Hesh round to be able to deal more damage in every shot I take at this guy. And you know, we're definitely going to be able to pen him every time. Even things like this M48 pattern we can pen with Hesh. Unfortunately we didn't actually manage to. Let's hope this 705A doesn't actually hit us on the move. And at this point I'm thinking maybe I should come in from a different angle, because this 705 is being a pain. He's turning the back of his turret to us, which means we can pen him. And now it's time to just go in, I think. I'm going to fire on the move. Unfortunately we didn't hit, which is actually a pain. We've not really hit any on the move in this game. You know, we could have stopped there, but we need to get in there to constantly do damage to people. We're going to go for the engine. Luckily he's tracked. I don't know why the backchat would ever ram. We're going to put one into his turret, and then we're going to ram him ourselves. Unfortunately don't get any more. So you can see we've picked up 4k damage. It's a pretty average game in this tank. It's not really a fantastic one. I mean, personally, I think a good game in a tank like this is about 6k. A very good game being like 8k. One that I would personally show on YouTube as an actual video dedicated to itself is about 8k, or at least, you know, 9k combined or something very similar to that. You know, this one was 5.1k, and it's not a bad game to show off what sort of playstyle you should be thinking about, and what you can actually do in game. Now, we've gone straight into the next battle on Prokhorovka. Obviously, I might just get absolutely rinsed in one of these games, but at least you'll see the thought process and the way I can actually play in game. And hopefully it just gives you a little bit of an insight, because I don't think I can say for sure, like, do this and you'll become better, because it just doesn't happen like that. You know, it takes a lot of practice. It takes, you know, looking at people that know what they're doing, at least know what they're doing to a degree, and just seeing the spots that can work in different tanks and stuff like that. Knowing your weak spots of different tanks will help, but it's not going to instantly make you a better player. You know, you'll be able to understand where you should be aiming, but if you don't put yourself in the right position, which is the key thing on this game, and that just comes with time and watching where other people go and the sort of things that you should push. I think situational awareness is one of the key things that no one really talks about that much, and I'm not talking about the perk, I'm talking about actual knowing when you should push and knowing when you should retreat, knowing when, if all of your team have gone one way, you really shouldn't be going in the direction that you're going. As you can see, there's only me over here, which is actually terrible, and we're not going to want to actually stay here. So in fact, I'm going to go over to the left hand side or the right hand side of the map where the whole rest of the team are. It's not going to be a good game if I stick around, and so that's why I'm moving. If, you know, their whole team goes the one line, which is, you know, the alphabet line, that means that they're basically going to be able to rinse me, because I'm going to have, you know, maximum of a TD and a medium and an artillery to support me, whereas if I go the other way and push hard, it will mean that I've got the whole team to support and potentially get some spotting damage and stuff like that off of. Now usually I would go on this map in the position like D1, because it is fairly decent, and you know, you can have some good games from there. But it's not necessarily the best game, or it wouldn't be the best strategy for this game, that's for sure. You might note that you can actually shoot through the train tracks if you've got gun depression, which is something most people don't actually know, and it can be really, really useful at the end of the game. If you know people have pushed over the hill and they've won that area, then you can get some more damage on people. And it's things like that, like slight map knowledge, where you've just got that little bit of advantage, get that last shot into someone that may have an autoloader or something similar, that just wins you the game. And that's something that I've learned over the time that I've played all of these spots that, you know, you can shoot people at. You know, this pattern could have taken a hit right there, which they might not have known about, and so limiting that is always key. You know, I've got turret armor in the FV4202, which means I can do things like this. You know, feeling pretty confident that I'm not going to get just penned. Obviously there's people on the hill that you need to be aware of, and the only reason I'm in this position right now at this point in the game is just because I know that they're not going to probably be able to hit me, because or they'd have to properly come out in order to hit me, which wouldn't be worth it for them. And you know, although I might take a hit, they're going to take a lot more damage, and it will get them out of the game quicker. So long as that's what happens. You can see that the concept 1B and stuff are getting held up. And we're just going to aim at these guys that don't even know that I can probably hit them from here. So you can see that we're just putting shot after shot into these guys. You know, the Malshan's now pushed up. Unfortunately, can't actually hit him directly. But you know, it's just knowing that's these sort of things in order to avoid getting hit that many times. So I don't know whether you guys are going to enjoy these videos. I mean, if you do, make sure you subscribe, because you'll see all of these sort of videos that come out on the channel. But also, if you don't like them, please let me know in the comment section down below, because you know, it'll help me choose the content that you guys want to see. And if you don't actually like the content, then you know, I can pick stuff that you do like, and that's just going to be better for everyone. And you know, you might learn more that way. So you can see that the Concept 1B has moved up. We've got a very slim shot on him. Probably won't hit. But we really need to get him out of the game, because our team has decided that this is the area that they want to focus on. We do need to be aware that artillery is going to be here, and it's probably time for me to actually retreat back. You can see this E100 is for some reason decided that he's going to push up all of that way, and we're just going to try and take down this house to be able to get a shot on him. We're aiming for his tracks, you see here. Unfortunately, we didn't detrack him, but what he's doing right now is giving us the roof of his tank, which means we can pen him through there. We definitely do not want to be getting hit by the Waffle E100s who are pushing up. We're going to load a Hesh round because it will mean we get more damage, and I think that what's going to happen this game is we're going to lose if we don't manage to get these Waffles out of the game really quickly, because they're really key in order for us to, you know, survive and make some plays, because they can clip us out very easily. We've loaded the Hesh rounds here. The CS63 is now moving up, which we need to be aware of, and this Concept 1B's decided he's going to come up. We're going to fully aim this because we have got Hesh loaded. We've been hit by artillery, which is lucky. Unfortunately, we dropped down, but it was worth it because artillery was also aiming. And we're going to go over here. I think we've 100% lost this game now. It's not really recoverable. I think that, you know, we've got to make sure to maximise the damage that we do in this game, because I am trying to 3-mark this tank, and it certainly won't be happening if we don't hit our shots properly. So you can see that this 257 is now pushing up along with this CS, which we really do need to get out of the game before he does any more damage to our teammate. Unfortunately, he's not actually stupid, which means we're struggling to be able to shut him out of the game. I think the key right now is obviously making sure that we get as much damage. I mean, we're on a decent game, like we're not going to have a terrible one. We're probably going to go up on our marks by quite a bit, but if I can get out another 2 shots before the game ends, and you know, this is actually potentially winnable, so long as artillery doesn't shut me down before I'm able to do anything more. Now, I think the play right now is actually to shut this guy down, hopefully. Unfortunately, we bounce, which is really annoying. This Emil's come over, which is a bad idea for him, and we're going to shut him out of the game. Now, there's a Waffle E100, which is terrible for us, so we're going to just hit him on the move. The 257's just missed me, which is really good. We don't want to take any more hits, and we're going to make it as difficult for artillery to hit us by using this ridgeline. And we're in a situation that is actually really not too bad for us. We've got a Waffle that's on the low ground, we've got a 257 that I can hit if our teammate spots him. And the artillery are the one thing that can really ruin this game right now. Obviously the Waffle's now decided he's going to come, but what's good about this tank is obviously we can use the gun depression to be able to stop them from advancing. We've got the 257 who's just fired. Unfortunately we are going to have to move because the artillery's going to hit. Getting into a bit of a clutch situation right now. This Waffle's going to be here, which we really need to put pressure on him. Unfortunately it's lagging, which is making the delay between when I fire and when I can actually hit annoying. Unfortunately we're getting shafted by the RNG in this game, which is frustrating to say the least. You know, we're only damaging the gun of this tank. As if he honestly hit me on the move. We shut that guy down. You can see that there's a Malshan, but we really need to get rid of that guy. Artillery is the one thing that can honestly ruin us this game now. We're going to use this because this ridge is going to be really difficult for artillery to hit us over, and we're now in a 2 versus 3 situation. So we've managed to scrape out like a little bit more. We're going to try and use this bush right here in order to outspot this Malshan for our artillery player, and we're going to get right on top of this hill because we do have the view range advantage over this Malshan. He really shouldn't be able to spot me without me spotting him, which is key. We did knock down that tree, which is not particularly amazing, but what we are going to do now is just put as many bushes in between us and start dealing damage to him. So this situation is really not particularly very good for us, especially I'm going to stop firing Hesh because it's really not working. We need to keep moving because this artillery is going to be an absolute pain in terms of being able to hit me. I'm really hoping that our artillery actually manages to hit this Malshan, and really my biggest problem right now is that artillery on the enemy team. It's time to move because our artillery is getting attacked. We've shut that guy down. We're going to get into this position, which is giving us some slight artillery cover. We're going to load a Hesh round now because that's more likely to kill an artillery in one shot. We've managed to do 6,600 damage so far, and it's really a situation where I need the artillery, where I could win this game fairly easily so long as I spot for our artillery and he manages to hit them. You see that the GUI 100s decided to go up the hill, which was not a good idea from him. We pen him, but unfortunately, because of the stupid low rolls that you get now, we've not actually taken him out in one shot, which is leaving us quite vulnerable. Yeah, not particularly amazing for us, and for some reason this GUI is continuing to go. The enemy artillery is going to probably be over this ridge line, or very right at the back in the back corner in K1 or K2. So what we're going to do is take a big circle around here. We're going to use the ridge line over to our left to be able to spot them if they are actually just over here. But you can see, you know, I've had a really decent game. You know, I was talking about having a 9k combined to go on YouTube, and luckily because we are live, you know, you can hear me mashing that I am live. So yeah, we're hoping now that we can actually win and secure the victory. What I do need is the artillery on our team to be able to, you know, support me in what I'm doing. The GW Tiger P over there, we're going to put one round into him, and we've secured the victory. Luckily, in this game, which is fantastic. And we managed to carry the game at the end. We've managed to pick up like 11k combined together, which is really, really good. We got 2070 base XP, 7 kills, 7,500 damage, 3,231 assistance damage, and you see that instantaneous knowing that I should not have been over on the left hand side of the map, the area where I first went at the beginning, and then deciding to move over and go somewhere else, and has basically meant that I've been able to carry the game where our team might not have been able to. It looked really dodgy at that one point where the two waffles were advancing, and I was thinking that we'll probably lose this game. But luckily they got removed from the game. Our artillery really did help out that game to be able to just put them extra couple of shots of damage. I made it a hell of a lot harder for myself, being in the form of, putting rounds into the Waffles turret that didn't pen with Hesh, which was unlucky. I should have probably aimed a little better, but I was getting a little bit worried. So yeah, we had a really, really good game. And I hope you guys kind of understand a little bit more about thinking and what you should be doing on games. I know that this is only a small video in terms of how many hours you've probably played on the game, but hopefully this kind of series and the live gameplay is going to mean that you can have some better games yourself and understand a little bit better from someone that's played, 20-something thousand battles now. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Just stays up to date with any of the latest info, updates, news, videos like this. Basically anything to do with World of Tanks console and anything that you might need in-game. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy it once again. I hope you have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your week whenever you're watching this video. And I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.